That's Jefferson. Climbs the ladder. Oh, my goodness. Come
on. What's going on? It is our Sunday baseball show. It's Holden, it's Gary, and it's Stevers. And I hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday. Obviously, a little different show that's going on. I'll talk about JJ and Joey here in just a couple of minutes, but it is good to be with my guys, Gary and Stevers. Of course, we got the biggest Braves fan in the world in Gary, and we've got the biggest Guardians fan in the world, Stevers. So it's wonderful to see both of you boys. Gary, what's going on in the MLB streets, buddy? Because right now I'm all into NFL mode. I mean, obviously I'm grinding baseball with you guys, but 11 days to the NFL kicks off. We've got a whole bunch of new shows coming up here on RPS. We're not going to announce that yet, but so much going on at RPS for football. But we're still kicking ass in baseball. Talk to me, Gary. How things been going?
Yeah, baseball's been pretty good for me for the last couple of weeks. I know we were talking pre-show. You said you've had a good last 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
I think you just start to dial it in towards the end of the season. We got another month left of the regular season, and we're going to continue to print. I'm going to be behind in NFL like I am every year just because I'm so dialed into baseball. I haven't even looked at, I have drafts coming up next week, and I don't even know where people are drafting people right now. So, I'm just going to be in complete shambles. But guess what? I am going to continue to smash the NFL early slate. That's kind of my jam for NFL season, just the early slate, because you don't see much content out there for the early slate specifically. It's talking strategy and all that. I think I might have a strategy article for the early slate that I might possibly be doing this season. So it's going to be really fun. I can't wait for NFL. It's always a printer for us too. And then we got NBA coming behind it, which is arguably, I don't think it's arguably, it is RPS's best DFS sport. We had the best NBA team in the industry, and now we just got JVC and Schlong and all these other guys. So it's just gonna be a massive print fest this fall. So I can't wait.
Let me see here. JMO, RPS fired everybody, somehow managed. Holden kept his job. Hey, JMO, do I come into your job at Wendy's and tell you why the hell did they keep you after burning your French fries? Go screw yourself, JMO. And you'll come back for NFL season, or you can open up your mouth and do whatever you want to do. But again, stop burning fries at Wendy's or you're going to get fired. Stevers, talk to me. What's going on, buddy? Talk to me. We're not doing bets. This is just going to be a DFS show. But how the streets of baseball been going?
It's good, man. It's tough in these baseball streets, man. It just seems like we all know there's just so much more variance to baseball than any other sport, it seems. Pitching has been really tough to figure out. I'm like Gary. I'm excited for NFL season. I'm actually an NHL guy, so I'm really looking forward to hockey coming up as well. But just like Gary, I'm always late to the scene for the NFL this time of year, simply because I'm still locked into baseball for another month. So,
all right. B Nair, our buddy. I am a great tax write-off. There's no question about that, B Nair. Thank you very much. One of our subscribers from day one. That's great. You want to hit us up in the comments, that's fine. Hit the like button. Let me talk about what's going on with JJ and Joey, and then we'll get into today's slate. So if you're just joining us right now, and nobody knew I was going to do this, but for the last 3+ seasons is what I'll say. For the last 3 seasons, JJ, myself, and Joey Work have been doing a baseball show. We do a lot during the rest of the me and JJ do a lot of football together, but they're no longer here. JJ, I would say, was my closest friend here at RPS. We went out to the party. We hung out together. He and I have done a ton of shows. We have a great rapport. We're the same type of guy, just a couple of dumbasses who like to screw around. That's the first thing. The second thing is Joey Work. I love Joey Work. Joey and I have, again, worked together for over 3 years. He is, if not the best baseball bettor I know, one of the best. Joey, call me back. I know you're a little upset right now, but we did have a little back and forth. It was good back and forth, but give me a ring back, Joey. It'd be nice to talk to you, buddy. So again, it's tough for me. JJ and I are close, and everybody at RPS absolutely loves JJ. I don't know one person that doesn't like JJ. Same thing in Joey Work. Joey's a little upset. Joey's hot-blooded. Joey's done a lot of great work. So both of them, they're not here. And that's why for the next 2 weeks of baseball, we're just going to stick to DFS. That's what we're going to do. And yeah, being there, JJ is having twins. JJ had his own stuff going on, and we kind of are going a different direction with the bet side. If you are on the bet side and Spread Astaire and Tyler Hicks, these two guys are just absolutely terrific as well. And they'll still be in the community. Dwayne, if JJ is the best at what he does, why let him go? First of all, I never said he was the best at what he does. JJ knows that I think he sucks. But JJ left on his own accord. Again, he's got twins coming, okay? And JJ and I think within the next week we'll talk about the project that we're going to do during football season, during NFL season. It's not a time to do it right now. But again, for those of you that have been tuning in for the last 3 years or so, and I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him as much as you are, and probably more because I got a chance to know the guys, met him in person. But it's tough for me. It's tough for me too. Like I told JJ, I'm sad. Like, it's a sad day for me, but you got to go take care of your business. Joey, Spread, Tyler, the rest of the guys on the bet side, my business. We have brought a couple guys in here to run the bet side, though, that I'm very excited about as well. I know JBC is going to be kicking ass. I know we're going to have a lot more people contributing on the bet side. Stats will be over there. I think Schlong is going to do some. Big T, Mangone. Once the NFL season gets going, I'll be there too. Izzy, the NASCAR show is going to be there too. The NASCAR show is going to be there too. So everybody has their own opinion. You could throw it in the chat today. But what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What are you going to do? You'll hang out. You'll use the code NFL20. You'll sign up. Our NFL product just got better this season on the DFS side. And there's no question about that. It's going to be the best NFL product we've had yet. And if you watch this show, I'm honest. Again, I don't know how many hosts are going to come out and say they're sad that their guys are gone now that they're gone. That's what I do. I love them. I probably as close, maybe closer to the guys on the bet side than most of the guys on the DFS side. So I'm going to miss JJ. I'm going to miss Joey. JJ and I will have something going on. Joey, I would love to collaborate with going forward. Spread and Tyler, you'll see them in the Discord still. They're going to be members still. They love what's going on. So that's it. And now I got a couple of good guys that I'm working with today. Gary joined this show mid-season. Stevers is here. Stevers a really good baseball mind. He's another guy that'll be grinding out through the rest of baseball season. So without further ado, enough of this. Let's get into today's baseball slate. Thumbs up would be great. And now if you guys are uncomfortable, Gary and Stevers, I apologize, but I had to get that off my chest because it sucks for me. It really does. These were my guys. But the show goes on. The product's still going to be great. The code's still here at NFL 20. Get on board. There's a lot of people still at RPS. We're only growing. And our NFL product, I will put it up against anybody else in the business. All right, let's go. Hold on a second. Terry Niehaus, Uncle T. So this morning, Gary, we threw this out there. I said, anybody else want to join the show today? Because we got a 3-man booth instead of 4-man. You know what Uncle T's doing today? Volleyball. Girls volleyball. This is a dude that missed the Old Guys Pod, our flagship podcast here at RPS. This guy's missed the flagship podcast multiple times because he had to call girls basketball games. And now this dude is out at a girls volleyball game. Absolutely ridiculous. Very, very sad. Gary, we got a big slate today. Looking forward to this one. Unfortunately, the Mariners will not be on the slate, so I'm a little bit bummed about it. That has been a team that has been printing for us. We got an 11-game slate, though. No weather concerns. Let's get a broad overview from you about this.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome slate today. We also got the FanDuel final in Philly, so that could be a very interesting game. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, we got 3 guys. I think Third and Slong's there. JVC is there. I'm not sure who else is there. I know K Reed is like hanging on JVC's coattails this weekend as his +1, I think. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot going on this slate. It's very interesting on the pitching front. We'll dive into that a little bit, but overall, I absolutely love the slate.
Yep, no doubt about it. Stevers, give me a little broad view here because your Guardians are going to get their asses kicked.
Yeah, unfortunately they are. That's going to be a painful part of the show for me, but we got to tell it like it is, right? Yeah, this is a super fun slate. I'm loving this slate. Seems like we're kind of overpaying for pitching. Like it seems like every price tag is inflated a little bit, but as far as teams, we got a lot of teams here that are kind of clumped together with the same implied run total. This is going to be a fun one for sure. Digging into some ownership now and seeing where I can try and get an edge. But yeah, I'm with Gary. This was a fun one for sure. I enjoyed this one.
All right. Well, I'll also say this, that usually it's a fun show, a funny show. I don't know if I'm in that much of a mood today to be too funny, but we're going to do this. I love you too, AP. It's absolutely awesome to see you in here. NFL 20% off lifetime of the subscription, whether we die or you die. That's the only way that our deal is going to go away. So we do have some pretty big names that are out, Gary, and we'll start with you on the pitching side. But from the hitting side, we got no Luis Robert. We got no Devers or Yoshida for the Red Sox. We got no Will Smith. We got no Yandy Diaz. So a lot of stuff, a lot of stars, but that's Sunday for us. And Sunday always seems to be the roughest day of the week, especially if you're playing some of the teams later in the slate and their lineups haven't dropped yet. But let's get to the pitching. We'll start 9-2 and above, Gary. So Bailey Ober on up. We got Verlander coming off a 9 strikeout game, probably his best start of the season. As you mentioned in the playbook today, Waka, 29% K rate over the last 5 weeks. He's sitting here at 10-1 today. So 3 and 5 figures. The other two would be Montgomery and Ober. What are you thinking about the top of the chain here?
So first of all, I just like to point out, like JJ and Joey leave, and Holden just forgets what we do on Sundays. All of a sudden,
what do we do?
We never do pitchers like this on Sundays. We normally just go.
We
right
just
into
do
the
it
games.
today, though. Just do it today. Let's just go through pitchers today.
I wasn't prepared for that, but we'll make it work. Holden. Well, sure. You're being a little sensitive today, and I understand it.
Believe it or not, I have feelings. I have feelings. I know nobody believes it, but I have feelings.
We definitely miss our boys, JJ and Joey. There's no doubt about that, but you don't have to be a sissy about it.
Holden, stop lying to the people. You do not have feelings.
I might cry by the end of this show. All right, Gary,
do not have feelings.
Stop telling me what I'm doing wrong, and go talk about the freaking 5 pitchers at the top of the slate.
All right, I guess I'll get there. So I guess we'll start up top with Justin Verlander. 11K for him against Detroit. I know he's going to have ownership on today's slate. I just can't do it. I'm not paying 11K for him on this slate. Pitching has just been super volatile lately. His projection is basically the same across the board, about 17.5 projection, which on this slate with the value that I'm getting from other pitchers, he's just going to go way down the list for me. So I don't have any interest in Verlander. The same for me goes for Nola. Nola right now, I'm seeing 35% ownership on him, which is the highest ownership on the slate. I know. So Captain has a pretty massive projection on him here at 20. Sabre's got a 16 projection. Nola's just not a guy that I like to use, like especially at this price, 10-4. If he's going to be high owned, I'm just going to fade him. I'm going to fade him here. St. Louis, while they've been very disappointing this year overall, they still have a somewhat dangerous lineup, and there's a lot of righties in here, a lot of power righties that can get to Nola. And if you look at Nola's stats over the last 30 days, he's been really bad. He's given up a 298 ISO to lefties, 437 WOBA to lefties, 170 ISO to righties, 336 WOBA to righties. So massive hard contact, 50% hard contact to both sides of the plate. That's just highest owned pitcher with those numbers over the last 30 days. I'm just going to automatically fade that every time, and I'll move on about my day. So definitely no Nola for me. Waka is an intriguing option today. We have sticker shock with him. He's 10-1, his highest price of the season. Normally, when a pitcher does this, I fade. And I'm probably going to be underweight on Waka. I do like him the most out of everybody up here, but But I think today's slate is going to be a mid-range pitching slate for me. Upper mid-range to mid-range pitching slate. We'll get to my favorite pitcher in a few minutes. But so I do like Walker. He's facing a Milwaukee team that likes to strike out. They haven't struck out a lot recently, but they've still been a bottom 5 offense. So just a really good matchup for him. And I don't think you're going to see too much ownership on him on this slate. I'm seeing like less than 5% ownership for Walker on this slate, which is always good. Jordan Montgomery, I do like Jordan Montgomery as well. He gets a free swinging Minnesota Twins team. It's a boom-bust matchup. I say it all the time against these Twins. They strike out a lot, and they hit homers. That's what they do. Jordan Montgomery has been really, really consistent recently. Over the last month, he's got three performances over 20 DraftKings points. So, yeah, I do like him here. You said go down to 92. Nope, no interest in Ober.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to have Ober. He's overpriced. He's facing a dangerous Texas team. Just can't do it. So up top, in summary for me, it's Waka a little bit. I do like Montgomery quite a bit. So those are the two up top.
I wonder if Ober's just kind of hitting a wall now. You know, that's I wonder if it is. Is he getting up there in innings or something?
So his swing and strike data is still really good. I mean, he's got the highest swing and strike rate on the slate over the last month at 15.7%. But he's only got a 27% CSW percentage, which means he's not throwing first pitch strikes. He's not getting called strikes a lot. He's throwing outside the zone a little bit. He's missing his spots. So I'm just going to pass on him here.
Stevers, here's what I'm looking at. First of all, Rafael Devers having an x-rays on his right wrist. So that's never good news. He's not playing today. But let's talk about these top 5 pitchers. You don't got to talk about all of them if you don't like them. But Stevers, how many of these 9K and above pitchers are you going to be having in your pool today?
So honestly, none of them will be on my single entry team. So I like to tell everybody what I'm playing for the day. So I'm playing these lower single entries, this $27, the 12, the 5, the 3, and then I play that $4.20 max. So I'll have some of these guys in the pool for the 20 max, but none of these guys up here are going to make my team, my single entry team. It just, I don't know. They all seem overpriced. So I'm going to have some Verlander. I'm going to have some Nola. I'll have some Walker. Jordan Montgomery has been really good. You might have a little bit of a pitcher's duel today in Minnesota because you got Ober and Montgomery, two pretty good pitchers. Nola is the one that I'm definitely going to be underweight on. He's pulling huge ownership on Sabre right now. It's like 33, 34%. And I mean, we all know that he's capable of these ceiling games, but man, you look at his advanced stuff and you look at his, I mean, just for instance, you could do something just as simple as look at his game logs. And in his last 6 games, his highest fantasy point total is 21 points. Like that's not something I'm interested for a 10.4K pitcher. He arguably has the best floor on the whole slate. The guy never goes negative. I mean, he's got a great floor, but I'm not paying 10.4K for a guy with a great floor. Like I want the upside in this 20 max GPP that I'm playing. So there's just not much up here for me. I have no doubt that my favorite pitcher on this slate is also Gary's favorite pitcher on this slate, unfortunately.
It's got to be Kikuchi, right? Against your boys.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to get to that in a second, but there's just no doubt that that's my SP1 today. So yeah, again, not much up here. If I had to rank these guys up here, I would probably go Nola, Montgomery, and then the other 3 would just fall in below that. Like I said, I like Nola's floor a lot, but again, I want to see this big ceiling game from him, and I'm not going to pay 10.4K for a guy that might not even 2x his price tag. So not a lot of interest up here. I'm going to play a lot of these guys in the range below this.
Just some news from the Dodgers. Gonsolin's out for the year, Tony Gonsolin. So Another pitcher going down for the Dodgers. We can talk about the Dodgers in a little bit, but Gary, let's go down through the 8-9 to 7-1 range. So we'll go Houck up to Kikuchi. Cleveland can't hit lefties. Kikuchi has been one of the best pitchers in baseball since the All-Star break. Flaherty against Colorado. It's Colorado. Paul Blackburn has been he's been pitching very well here as of late. I know he pitches for Oakland, but he also seems to get a little bit more of a leash just because their bullpen is so bad. They throw him out there. And on the other side, you got Clevenger taking on Oakland. And then Tanner Houck, who I think's in some trouble today against the Doyers. So let's go 8-9 with Kikuchi, and we'll head down to Tanner Houck.
Yeah, so like Stevers buried the lead here, but Kikuchi's definitely my SP1 on the slate. His Indians team is just terrible at hitting the baseball. I mean, they got a 0.67 ISO and a 2.16 WOBA against lefties over the last 30 days. Yeah, they're not striking out at a huge clip, but man, those can come really quick. They got two guys at the bottom of the lineup, at Freeman and Hayes, and that strike out a lot. Gonzalez also strikes out a lot. So you can see a bump, a spike strikeout game here. 8,900, I like it a lot. I'm seeing him as the third highest owned pitcher on the slate, which I'm fine with. I'm just going to get overweight. I'm seeing 25%. Probably have close to 50% Kikuchi today. So like him a ton here. Flaherty, man, he gives me, man, I get scared when Flaherty's chalk, and he's going to be the second highest owned guy today. I would just much rather have Kikuchi, and I would much rather throw Blackburn. Blackburn is probably my favorite point per dollar pitcher on the slate at 8,300. These two, Blackburn and Kikuchi, will most definitely make my main lineup here today. So yeah, I'm going to be under the field on Jack Flaherty. I mean, he's still got 11% walk rate over the last month. Walks, man, that just leads to trouble, leads to giving up runs and all that. So I'm probably just going to stay away from Flaherty here and just roll with Kikuchi and Blackburn in this range. And looking down here, Hoke, however you say his name, don't like him. Clevenger, I mean, I guess you could play Clevenger against Oakland, but I'm not going to do it. I just prefer the guys above him for a little bit more. So, and Rodon, definitely no Rodon. I think Rodon is broken. There's something wrong with him because he's just getting slammed every start without abandon. So in this range, I'm going to be pretty much all in on Kikuchi and Blackburn.
Okay. Very good. There's some really good options in this range. There's some guys we're going to target in this range as well, Stevers. Who do you like in this range? And obviously Kikuchi, we could tell that you don't want him to succeed, but if you want to succeed at DFS, maybe you should have at least a little Kikuchi today.
Yeah, I don't want him to succeed, but boy, is he going to. This Tribe team is just so terrible. And I won't spend a lot of time on this, I promise, but this is the most painful part of the show. So let me just get through it real quick. This Tribe offense is so bad. Against left-handed pitching, they are dead last in the league in average, slugging, OPS. They're second worst in the league. They have over 1,300 at-bats against left-handed pitching this year. They have 29 home runs. It is so awful against left-handed pitching. And there is strikeout upside here for Kikuchi as well. There's no doubt. There are strikeouts to be had in this lineup. Gonzalez is going to swing and miss. Miles Straw is going to swing and miss. There's a lot of upside here. He's no doubt my favorite pitcher on this slate. He's SP1 on all my single entries. As far as everybody else in this range, yeah, I'm living in this range today. I'm with Gary. I really don't like Flaherty as chalk, but it's hard to argue with this matchup today. He's been pitching really well. He gets the Rockies. He had a bad outing last time against San Diego, but before that, he threw a nice game against the Astros. He threw a nice game in Toronto before that, put up 28 DK points. I like Flaherty a lot. Paul Blackburn. How bad are these White Sox? I mean, every time I watch them, they just put together terrible plate appearances. They have no discipline at the plate. They're not drawing walks. They just look completely disinterested. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have a bunch of Blackburn today. And I'm going to have Clevenger too. I'm going to have both pitchers in this game. Clevenger can be up and down, right? Like this guy has put together some bad performances, but he's also put together some pretty good ones. He went to Chicago 2 weeks ago and played the Cubs at Wrigley, where the wind was blowing out, and everybody thought the Cubs were just gonna tag him. And he pitched 7 innings. He gave up 3 hits. He struck out 7. He put up 26 DK points. I'm living in this range today. Not going to have any Tanner Houck. He's I got a feeling he's going to get beat up today. But why is anybody rostering Rodon anymore? This guy is going to be 20% owned today on an 11-game slate, and against Tampa Bay, one of the best right-handed hitting teams, one of the best teams hitting against right-handed pitching. Against left-handed pitching. Carlos Rodon, I just don't understand why anybody's rostering him at this point. I think Tampa Bay's dangerous today on the slate. So for me in this range, Kikuchi, Flaherty, Blackburn, and Clevenger is where the majority of my exposure is going to fall.
All right, very good. Let's keep rolling here with and I think there's a couple guys we can go dumpster diving with here, Gary, as we look at the 6-9 range all the way to the bottom. You've got Assad with the Cubs. That's a matchup play against Pittsburgh. We got Brady Falter, who's been pitching Bailey Falter been pitching much better as of late. And there's a couple guys we could target too. Our old friend, Noah Syndergaard, who is done, like completely done ski. 17 starts this year, 5.11 xFIP, 6.51 ERA. I mean, a lot of people are going to be targeting him today. That's why George Springer is going to be favorite one-off of the afternoon. But give it to me here, Gary. Who do you want to roster? Is it just Littell from this range, or is there anybody else you can dig up?
So, yeah, I do like Littell. I think he's going to be the more popular cheap option on today's slate. And when I say that, I'm saying like 15 to 20%. I don't think it's going to be crazy with Little. But, yeah, definitely like him here against the Yankees. Anybody that's right-handed against the Yankees, I'm going to have interested in every start. So I definitely like him. I also like Hauser a little bit here at 6,800. I just like him here. I like this spot. He's been pitching well as of late. If you look at, he's got a 3.82 xFIP, 24% strikeout rate, 5% walk rate. He's like giving up like almost 0 barrels. So he's not getting a lot of quality contact against him. And I'm not really scared of the San Diego Padres team. So yeah, I do like Hauser a little bit, but those two are going to be it for me. I can't do anybody else down here. Nobody else is even in consideration for me.
Stevers, who's down low for you today?
Bailey Falter is down low for me today.
Yeah.
Okay, so I won't have a lot of him, but I'm definitely going to have a little bit of exposure to this guy. And let me tell you why. So he went to St. Louis his last start, and they just beat up the Cardinals that day. He had 8 strikeouts, and what happened in that game was the Pirates came out and they got him a little bit of run support early, and then he just kind of cruised. So the narrative that I'm hoping for is that if Bailey Falter can go out today at home, and he can go 1, 2, 3 in the first, or maybe, give up a single and just get out of that inning, just smooth sailing, 15, 16 pitches in the first inning. And then in the bottom of the first, the Pirates get him some run support right there early. He might cruise a little bit. And I want to play for that narrative a little bit. So I'm going to have a little bit of him. But I'm not going down here. It's an 11-game slate. I mean, I've got 2, 4, 6. I've got 7 pitchers that I have exposure to in my 20 max. So that's pretty much it. I mean, to go down here is not the answer for me today. But I do like a little bit of Bailey Falter today.
I think the chalk today is going to be Kikuchi Littell. Falter is a guy that's at least got to be on the radar here. So we're done with pitching. We're going to go game by game, do the offense. You just join us, hit the like button. NFL 20% off. Lifetime your subscription here at Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. We've got the playbook just like we do for baseball. Our guys are going to break down every single position, the guys they like, the guys they don't like, a slate attack plan. We've got great projections. The preseason's been treating us very, very, very well. Last night, Albert Obakunum, thank you very much for the money last night, Alberto, in the Broncos showdown. So ton of NFL. We will be grinding baseball throughout the rest of the regular season, through the playoffs. We got MMA. Our team is as strong as anybody in the industry. Golf, NASCAR, lots going on here at RPS, 20% off. Don't forget, our guys give you the core plays as well. Their main players that they're throwing up in their lineups, not only baseball, but NFL. You know it. If you've been in here, if you've been a subscriber before, they're going to give you the best plays. They're going to give you their number one lineup without a couple of plays because you can't fill out a whole lineup for everybody, but it's a great product. NFL 20% off. Let's go game by game here with offense, Gary. We'll start with Colorado, Baltimore. Again, Flaherty, if you want to pick a one-off from the Rockies, go for it. But on the other side, Ty Block, who likes to give up home runs. So there's got to be some Baltimore bats in your lineup today. Yes or no?
Absolutely. I will say this, though. Baltimore is probably going to be the highest on stack today by quite a bit of margin. So,
okay.
This is a really good spot for them against Ty Block and this awful Rockies bullpen. I'm seeing like Mateo. I'm seeing 15 to 20% on probably most of these guys all the way down. Adley Rutschman, honestly, might be the lowest owned of the bunch.
Really?
Which is a good thing for me because I think people are going to want these cheaper bats. Jorge Mateo, James McCann is a cheap catcher at 2,600 in the lineup today. Jordan Westberg 3,700. So if you stack the bottom part of the lineup, which it seems like ownership is going that way for this team today, and of course Ryan Mountcastle is probably one of the best plays on the slate today, if not the best play. Because Mountcastle has just been absolutely nuking left-handed pitching, 412 ISO, 568 WOBA over the last 30 days and 37 plate appearances. He's just been absolutely nuking lefties. He's probably my favorite on this team. I'll still have a ton of Orioles. I think the spot is just too good to fade. And no Rockies for me.
Little Gunnar Mateo action too. There's a lot of different.
Gunner's a stud. He's a certified stud.
I think there's a lot of different ways you can go with your lineup here today. Stevers, what are you doing with Baltimore today?
Love Baltimore. Don't love the ownership. They are going to be the highest owned stack on the slate today, but rightfully so. They get Ty Blatch. They get this awful bullpen. They got a lot of opportunity here for sure. This is one of the most dangerous lineups in the bigs. I'm with Gary that Mountcastle is one of the best plays on the slate, along with Hayes. Hayes crushes lefties. He's hitting in the 4-hole today. There's going to be runners on the base paths in front of him. He's going to have a ton of RBI opportunity today. Even if he doesn't hit the ball out of the ballpark, he's still going to have runners in scoring position. You can play this lineup 1 through 9, honestly, because even at the bottom, they got Mullins and Mateo at hitting 8 and 9. There's where's the holes? Maybe McCann and Westbrook, but 1 through 9 I can play here. And just like Gary, no Rockies. They're too inconsistent. They're just not somewhere I want to be on an 11-game slate. It's too plentiful. There's just too much else to choose from for me to try any Rockies today.
All right, very good. Let's move on to game number 2. Like button would be great. Helps us with an algorithm, whatever that is. We like targeting Tanner Houck today. I think all of us do. Gary, on the other side, we got a few pitchers going for the Doyers today, a couple pitchers going for the Doyers today. But how do you want to build your Dodgers lineup if you're going there obviously you got it. There's 2 guys that are just going bananas, Betts and Freeman. I think you make a case for both of them being MVP. Your boy Acuna is going to end up winning. Betts is making a late charge. How do you want to build the Dodgers?
Yeah, that's going to be a really interesting race down the stretch because Acuna over the last couple of weeks has kind of cooled off a little bit. And the other two, Mookie and Fred, or Mookie specifically, it has just been keeping the charge running. I mean, he's just really good, like so good. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I think Acuna's didn't his MVP prop go way down in the last week or so?
Betts is catching up to him. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible run down the stretch here to see who gets it. But yeah, it's going to be weird for me to say this, but I have no interest in 5-man in the Dodgers today.
Okay. Why?
Especially with Will Smith out of the lineup. You get a downgrade in the Barnes here, and you got a bunch of pinch hit guys in the bottom of this lineup. Peralta, Rojas, Jason Hayward, Bush. They got a lot of pinch hit risk here. And really all I want is Mookie and Freddie. So, and maybe an Outman. James Outman would be fine too. But I'm going to stick to those two. I'm going to stick to Outman. I'm not going to pay $5K for Muncy on this slate. So yeah, it's just mostly mini stack interest for me for this Dodgers team. And for Boston, I mean, Boston's tough. I mean, we know the Dodgers, they have the rookie coming back up again. He's been good in AAA. He got shelled when he first came up earlier this season. You got no Devers in the lineup for Boston. So I'm probably not going to have any Boston here. I just don't see a need for it on this slate. They're not an elite offense by any stretch of the imagination. I will say, though, I do like Wilyer Abreu. He's really good. So I'll probably leave Abreu in my pool.
All right, we got a few cores up there. I'm actually building my third and final lineup right now. So the subscribers, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cores up right now. DC Boyd and Uncle T, who's on his way to a girls' volleyball game by his own volition. And then JBC just got his core up there as well. Stevers, game 2, what do you want?
I tell you, Gary and I are in lockstep so far today. I'm not 5-man in the Dodgers today either. I do have interest in Muncy. I'll pay $5K for Muncy today. But it's all about Betts and Freeman. Gary hit it right on the head, man. There's a ton of pinch hit risk in the back of this lineup. You get no Will Smith today. Just other better spots I'd rather be in. I mean, it's in Fenway. They have a good implied team total. But I just don't see it. I mean, they're not in my favorite stacks today. We're going to get to the games where my favorite stacks are, but the Dodgers are not it. And as far as the Boston side, when you take Devers and Yoshida out of the lineup, it's just not the same.
Nope.
So I won't be there much either. So later on down the road, I'll go through where most of my exposure is falling to these team stacks, and I will piece in Dodgers and maybe a couple of Red Sox in those builds, but I'm not 5-man in either one of these teams. It looks like Baltimore's going to be the highest owned stack, and it looks like the Dodgers are going to be the second highest owned stack. But it's not for me. I won't 5-man either one of these teams today.
Okay, very good. We'll keep moving on. Like button would be great. We'd love that. St. Louis, Philadelphia, Gary, Philly. I don't know if they're going to be the chalk, but we got Rom out there, and that means a lot of right-handed hitters. Trey Turner on up and down, Castellanos. I think from the left side, obviously, Bryce Harper's in the mix. He's back to his MVP form. I knew it was going to take a little while after that surgery and then the injury on top of it, but the power's back. So there are some bats in this lineup, Gary, that we can go to. Are you going to Philadelphia?
Philly's my top stack of the slate, and I don't think it's particularly close. You just look at the last 30 days against lefties for this team. Everybody is in the green on my screen as far as ISO and WOBA. They got a 260 ISO and a 397 WOBA against lefties over the last month. Castellanos has been nuking lefties.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Harper has been nuking lefties. Realmuto has been nuking lefties. Even Edmundo Sosa in the 8-hole has a 400 ISO and a 535 WOBA against lefties over the last 30 days. Rojas has power speed combination. I love this lineup top to bottom. They are easily my number one stack on the slate. I think they are just going to absolutely destroy this kid who throws fastball 75% of the time. That's what he did in his opener, and it did not end well. And we all played him. We recommended him, and we all looked like buffoons shortly thereafter. I will not be falling for that trap again here. So, yeah, I'm going to be pretty much all in on the Phillies today.
Oh, real quick.
Great.
Yeah.
And it's a great slate for the live final, too, because they're in Philly.
Hey, did you guys, real quick, going back to Boston, did you guys talk about Verdugo? I told you I was building my lineup. 3 straight games of the leadoff home run.
Yeah.
3 straight games. Holy smokes.
I bet that doesn't happen today.
You don't think he's going 4 straight games, leadoff home run?
0 chance.
Okay.
Nah, he gets
Ferguson.
Ferguson.
0 chance. Come on, man.
Nah, he's getting Ferguson in the first inning. He ain't going yard off Ferguson in that first inning.
No Ferguson, you say. Stevers, we're going over the Phillies. Any Phillies bats in your lineup?
Yeah, so the Phillies are my second favorite stack today. They are Gary's first. They are my second. They are going to mash today. 1 through 9 are all in play. Trey Turner's a phenomenal play today. I know a lot of people don't like him and they get pissed off at him sometimes when he craps in his pants, but he's a phenomenal play today. Real Muto, Castellanos. This lineup has a ton of power in it, and Rahm's not it. I mean, like Gary pointed out, I mean, the guy's throwing 75% fastballs all the time. And you grew fastballs to these guys. You better try and nibble and stay out of the zone with these guys, because if you try and throw strikes in the zone to these guys, they're going to hammer you. So, yeah, I'll have a ton of Phillies exposure today. It's not that Aaron Nola scares me, but at the same time, I don't want to try to pick on him either. So I won't have any Cardinals, maybe a Cardinals one-off. A guy like Tyler O'Neill, maybe at 3,700, maybe. But yeah, it's all about the Phillies bats in this one. Again, my second favorite stack on the slate, no doubt. They should smash today.
Okay, we'll keep rolling. Gary, our next game, 4 out of 11 games, the Cubs and the Pirates. Again, I kind of like Assad a little bit. Bailey Falter has been pitching a little better as of late. The ballpark is Pittsburgh. For me, it's an easy fade. Is it an easy fade for you?
Yeah, let's just move on to the next one.
Stevers?
Yeah, Bailey Falter, I got some of that, but other than that, no, nothing.
Gary, let's just take a break. We're almost halfway through things. We got to get back to the conversation of sexual congress between you and your wife. Okay. Do you shampoo your beard after that, or do you just, throw a little bit of water on it and keep going?
Why do I got to throw anything on it?
Really? You just leave it? It truly is a flavor saver?
Why not?
Gary, you do the beard balm?
Oh, yeah. I put beard balm on it this morning.
Doesn't that attract everything? It gets a little stinky, or no?
No, like every morning, like I got a routine. Like I got a hot brush too that I straighten it with. Mm-hmm. I put beard balm in it, beard oil, shampoo it. Like I gotta take care of the thing.
Okay. Well, listen, we just gained 6 viewers while you were talking about that. So obviously people knew what was going on. That was great to know.
I like it.
Like button would be great. Let's keep moving. We're just talking DFS today. Cleveland, Toronto. Toronto should be popular. George Springer, Varsho. Bichette has been hitting well. You know what? I might have to make a 4th lineup here just to get more Toronto in there. Gary, what are we doing with the Blue Jays today? And there's no way you're playing Cleveland. Maybe a one-off against Kikuchi. I don't see it, though.
Yeah, definitely no Cleveland. Easy X buttons for me on this slate. Toronto, too. Like, I mean, I'm not thrilled here.
Really?
I mean, Toronto's been bad. I mean, they've been really bad. Like, if you look at the hand in this chart over the last month, they have the second worst WRC plus and a bottom 8 ISO against righties over the last month. I know it's Thor. This team also doesn't have too many stolen base guys. I mean, it would be Springer, it would be Varsho, the 2 guys. I wish Whit Merrifield was in the lineup because he leads the team in stolen bases. I mean, if he was in the lineup, I would probably stack this team just because they got 3 guys that can steal bases. And now they really only have 2 guys that can steal bases. It's probably more so a mini stack for me. I like the lefties. and Springer. So I really like Brandon Belt. He has been absolutely mashing righties over the last 30 days, 381 ISO, 442 WOBA, and a 20% walk rate against righties. He's just been getting on base at a high clip. So definitely like Brandon Belt, like Bo Bichette, Springer, and Varsho. That would be really my only interest for this team, but I'm probably just going to stick to mini stacks.
It's Sunday. How can you not be going with Donnie Johnson, their catcher?
He's fine.
Come on, Gary.
He's fine.
Well, it's just fine, he says. Well, that's unfortunate that you say that. Stevers, what about Toronto against your boys?
Yeah, no Cleveland. For obvious reasons. The Tribe is just, they're so inept on offense. They're not even a DFS option offensively on any slate as far as I'm concerned. I mean, even with Josh Naylor in this lineup, which he's not, they're still just so inept. I don't even want to talk about it. The Blue Jays, I have a ton of interest in the Blue Jays. It doesn't bother me that 3 of the top 4 hitters in this lineup hit right-handed. It doesn't bother me at all against Noah Syndergaard. There is no doubt in my mind that Brandon Belt's hitting a home run today. I may even go on DraftKings or FanDuel and even bet it. I may bet him to hit 2. Who knows? There's just no doubt in my mind he's hitting 1. But I like Varsho. I even like Biggio. He's second base and outfield eligible. He hits left-handed. I believe that, probably the only left-hander that's going to come out of the Tribe pen today is going to be Henches. So I like the lefties in this lineup, but if I'm going to play this lineup, it's going to be 1 through 4. I'm not going to try and go down here and play Jansen and Schneider and guys down here, even Varsho and Biggio. As much as I like them and can see them having success, it's about 1 through 4 in this lineup. It's about Bichette. I think Brandon Belt is a phenomenal play. Guerrero Jr. and Springer, like those 4, I'm all in on those 4 today. But when you get to the bottom of this lineup, not so crazy about it.
Okay, very good. Houston, Detroit's our next game. It's been a while since Jordan's hit a home run. Then he slammed his finger in a door, right? He slammed his hand in a door. He's come back. A couple of hits last night, but nothing special to be talking about with him. Verlander's on the other side, going back home where he began his career, Gary. What about the Astros today?
I can't do it. I can't do it today. I don't think Faedo is a gas can. I think he's actually a pretty good pitcher. And over the last 30 days, he's done pretty decent. Over the last 30 days, he's not giving up a lot of hard contact, less than 40% to both sides. He's getting a lot of ground balls against righties specifically over the last month. And we know that this Houston team is loaded full of right-handed bats. And Jordan has been cold. So yeah, I'm just going to pretend this game doesn't exist either.
Stevers, are you pretending this game doesn't exist? Or are you going to go to some Astros?
Absolutely not. The Houston Astros are my favorite stack on the slate, gentlemen. I talk about this as often as I can. I talk about it in the Discord. I talk about it on the Saturday show the last couple of weeks. This Astros lineup is extremely dangerous, in my opinion. They can do a lot of damage on any given day. Now, they got some hefty price tags in here. You got 2 guys that are above 6K, and you got Kyle Tucker at 5'9". But, guys, how can anybody deny the potency of this lineup? I mean, even you have Chas McCormick in the 5-hole. Dubon is hitting 8. Pena's hitting 7. Like, these guys, these are big league hitters. These guys can do serious damage. Now, I know it's in Detroit, and that's not a great ballpark to hit. But this is my favorite place to go today. It's going to get me off. It's going to get me away from some of the Baltimore and Dodger chalk that we're going to see. They have a 5.2 implied team total, right up there with everybody else. This is, yes, 100% Astros for me today. I'm going to have a ton of exposure to these guys today. I just think this lineup is so dangerous, and I think they're going to do a ton of damage in the month of September.
Okay. You guys disagree with each other, and I kind of like that. So I am not going to the Astros today, but that's because I'm keeping my pool pretty close. Stevers, I hope it works out for you, dude. That'd be pretty cool if you shipped with the Astros.
You watch, brother. You heard it here first.
All right. I mean, I love going with these great offenses. Maybe they're definitely not in the same level as the Braves or the Texas Rangers were until recently. The Mariners now, but they're on that second rung. They obviously have a ton of dudes that can hit home runs, and they'll be lower owned today. Tampa Bay and the Yankees.
Watch Gordon hit one today. I know he's been ice cold.
Okay.
But this guy has a ton of power. Ton. Him and Tucker in the middle of this lineup, they can both easily hit home runs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Altuve, Bregman, I think these guys are going to be on the base paths. I'm all in on the Astros today.
Yankees Rays our next one. So a lot of us like Littell. Gary, how popular are the Rays going to be against a broken Carlos Rodon?
They're not going to be owned at all, and I love it. It's going to be amazing. I love this stack today. Really good. I mean, if you look at I look at recent data a lot for MLB, and this kind of goes against what I do here. Because if you look at the last 30 days for the Rays against lefties, they've been absolutely dreadful, right? It's been 0.93 ISO, 307 WOBA. WOBA's been up there a little bit, but a massive 30% strikeout rate against lefties. So that's why, I mean, Rodon's projection is up there a little bit. The strikeout rate of this lineup is high. But I'm just going to throw that out the window today in this matchup. I just think Rodon is broken. If you look at his numbers over the last this season, I mean, he's, like I said in the playbook, he's given up over a 245 ISO to both sides of the plate and over a 372 WOBA against both sides of the plate. He's getting a lot of fly balls. He's given up a lot of hard contact, 50% to both sides. Paredes is always one of my favorites in this Tampa Bay lineup. One guy that I have been playing a lot recently, he just got the call thanks to the whole Wander Franco situation. This Basabe guy, Oslevis Basabe, $3,600 shortstop. He's been hitting the ball pretty good. So definitely like him. Like Bethancourt, Aranda, Rosarina, Siri. I like this whole lineup. I like Bethancourt too. So I think he gets to these Yankees today, and not really worried about the Yankees bullpen here because if they get to Rodon, like I think, we're not going to see their good guys anyway. So I definitely am in on some Tampa Bay Rays today.
You were talking about Aranda or Basabe? You were talking about Basabe. Okay.
Basabe, yeah, Basabe.
All right. Stevers, any interest? Yankees, Rays. How about the Rays?
Yeah, no interest in the Yankees. Got to have some interest in Tampa Bay simply because how bad Rodon has been. Rosarena, Paredes. It's usually the guys in the middle of the lineup that I look to. But yeah, this Basabe, yeah, I can see that. He's hitting in the 5-hole today. He's putting together some good at-bats. Jonathan Aranda is kind of free. I mean, he's hitting at the bottom of the order. I know it's a lefty-lefty matchup as long as he's going to face Rodon, but 2,200 for a guy that qualifies at first and third. I usually kind of do that with my mini stack. Like I put my 5 stack together, and then I'll pick 2 really good bats that I like for my mini stack, and then I'm always looking for a cheap guy. I'm always looking for a guy that's $2,000 or 20, 21, 2,200. So yeah, there's definitely some interest in the Rays today.
You're all right with a 5-man?
No, I won't today. No,
I am. I think Rodon is broken, like really broken. So I think he's just going to get smashed.
The majority of my 5-man exposure. Sorry, Gary, go.
No, you're good. You're good.
The majority of my 5-man exposure is going to fall on Philadelphia, Houston, and Toronto. So, so I just won't have any Tampa Bay 5-man today.
Okay. Simple as that. Like button would be great. Again, NFL 20% off lifetime of your subscription here. All sports, and you can check out the bet side as well. Washington, Miami. I think Miami is going to be an interesting mini stack today, Gary. Not sure how many people are going to the Nationals. Not a great ballpark for hitting, as we know, but I think a couple of Marlins are in play. How about you?
I love the Marlins in this spot. I said it in the playbook, I think, or maybe I said it to somebody else, but if there was basically any other competent team in this spot against Trevor Williams and the Nationals, they would be the mega chalk of the slate. The only reason they're not is because it's the Miami Marlins and they're at home here in their own home ballpark, which, like you said, is very pitcher friendly. But Trevor Williams has the worst xFIP on the slate and the highest home run per 9 on the slate of any pitcher, like I said, on the slate over the last 30 days. So he's just given up massive amounts of power, over a 333 ISO to both sides, over a 395 WOBA to both sides. Just giving up 40-50% hard contact to both sides as well. So I like this team a lot. Jazz Chisholm, Luis Arise, Jake Berger, Josh Bell. I think you can 5-man this team on today's slate. Nobody's going to have it. It's going to be really contrarian, and why not play the team against the pitcher that has given up the most home runs? That's what we want, right? We want homers in DFS. So I absolutely love the Marlins today. Brian Dela Cruz, Soler. Hell, I don't even hate John Birdie at 3,300 at the shortstop position. So, yeah, I will have some 5-man Miami stacks, and I think they outscore Houston today.
No.
Hey, it doesn't sound like they're going to be in your pool, Stevers, but what do you think about them?
Maybe I need to rethink it. I've got some time. I mean, I do like this Marlins team. The implied team total is 4.7. And Trevor Williams is just a gas can, right? Like, I think Gary hit it right on the head. If this were any other offense he was facing, they'd be the mega chalk on the slate. Like, there are really good price tags in this Marlins lineup too. I mean, Berger's at 41, De La Cruz at 37. Josh Bell's a switch hitter hitting into 3-hole. He's 3,600.
He's been ranking for him too.
Yeah. Even Jesus Sanchez in the 7-hole, 2,800. Yep. I mean, yeah, maybe I need to get a little more exposure to this game because I can definitely see a 5-man stack doing some good things on this slate for sure.
Yeah, I just threw Berger and I had a little Miami mini. I kind of like throwing Berger in there too. Yeah, that stands out to me. Beautiful. Anybody got any questions? Get them in now. We will talk a little FanDuel. I know that, let me see here, Derek Wilson wanted to know about FanDuel. So we'll talk FanDuel in just a few minutes. 3 more games on the slate. Not sure there's too much to say about Milwaukee against Waka, but Adrian Hauser's the guy we've kind of gone after. Soto, obviously, in play today. Anybody else in play from the Padres, Gary?
I'm just going to pretend this game doesn't exist.
Okay.
I like both pitchers here. So,
Stevers?
I kind of like both pitchers as well. As potent as the Padres offense looks on paper, they just don't scare me. I mean, they can do damage on any given day, but yeah, I kind of like both pitchers in this game. So this one's a pass for me as well. Okay,
we'll keep rolling. We only got a couple games left. Texas and Minnesota. I don't know what's going on with these Rangers right now. They got to get Eovaldi back too. In a free fall. Bailey Ober's a guy we have been targeting though over the last couple of weeks. Gary, I don't know if you have. You kind of like his swinging strike rate. Jordan Montgomery on the other side against Minnesota. What are the plays here?
Man, this is just another game where I'm just pretending it doesn't exist. I really don't like offense in this. I mean, I don't hate Minnesota here. Minnesota would be my play here, just because Monty. I know Monty's been good, but he's going to be somewhat popular. He's going to be very popular on today's slate. And this Minnesota team's boom bust. I mean, they hit homers and they strike out a ton. So the guys for Minnesota that I would have in my pool would be Luplow, Correa, Royce Lewis, Ryan Jeffers, and the Babe Ruth himself, Michael A. Taylor.
Okay,
because he has 20 home runs on the season.
Can't believe it.
I think he had 70 coming into the season in his career since 2015. So I don't hate Minnesota here.
Why do you think he's hit so many home runs this year, Gary?
I don't know, but over the last month, he's got a 522 ISO and a 490 WOBA against lefties. Just smashing them.
Beating the shit out of left-handers, no question. Stevers, Texas, Minnesota, yay, nay?
Nay. Nothing here for me. I always talk about boring baseball games and baseball games that I would hate to watch, and this just feels like one of them. I think this might end up being a pitcher's duel. I think this one goes really low scoring. You just don't see much from it.
Okay. Last game on the docket, A's, White Sox. Not much here for me, Gary, unless you want to target both bullpens in this game. I don't want to target either starter. How about you?
I mean, it would be the Athletics for me. If I was going to do it, it would be a mini stack only. And Giloff would be the primary target because, I mean, you look at Giloff as a stud. The dude is just really good. Over the last month, in 76 plate appearances against righties, he's got a 443 ISO and a 487 WOBA. He's hitting righties much better than he's hitting lefties right now. And Brent Rooker is another guy, another righty on righty who smashes righties. 304 ISO, 358 WOBA. Then you go to Tony Kemp, 216 ISO, 411 WOBA. Then you got Diaz, 263 ISO, 415 WOBA, all over the last 30 days versus righties. So I don't like Clevenger. I'm not going to have him in my pool. So I'll have some Oakland mini stacks centered around those guys I just talked about.
Stevers, what do you got for us?
So I have both of these pitchers in my pool today.
Okay.
So I'm not going to have any bats, but I will say this. If you're not playing Paul Blackburn today, I can make a case for the White Sox. And as a mini stack, let me just put that out there. Now, I would not 5-man this team, but the most expensive bat in the entire White Sox lineup is 4K, Eloy Jimenez. You never see that. Like every team in the bigs has a K. Like even somebody as terrible as the Tribe has one stick in their lineup who's J-Ram, who is 5,500 or 5,800. Well, that guy is Luis Robert for the White Sox, and he's not in the lineup today. I actually love, if you're not playing Paul Blackburn today, I actually love the 5, 6, 7 hitters in this White Sox lineup today. You get Moncada at 5, Sheets at 6, and Grandal at 7. And they're all super cheap. So if you're not playing Paul Blackburn, I actually really like them as a mini today.
Interesting. So we had a question in the premium chat, Joe Cole. I guess we just addressed it. Any Clevenger in MME? It doesn't seem like too much interest in Clevenger. Maybe just a little.
None for me.
Little
I have a little bit of Clevenger.
Yeah, just a little sprinkle there, Stevers.
Absolutely.
That'd be about it. Hey, let's get some thoughts on FanDuel, Stevers. You play FanDuel?
No, FanDuel locked my account a while back, and I'm extremely mad at them. So I don't play there. I like to think I'm relatively knowledgeable about it, but I don't play there.
Gary, you playing FanDuel today?
I'm not playing, but I'll talk about it a little bit because they did include. I didn't even know they included the 2 late games.
I love that because I absolutely, you know how I love the Mariners, and I think at this point you can probably stack them up and down toward the bottom of the lineup too, right? Because they actually just dropped their lineup a few minutes ago, and you can go Canzone, Marlowe, Rojas, flip it around and play any of the top 4 bats as well. That's how I want to build the Mariners again today. And I don't want to say it's blind building, but just about every time over the last week and a half, go to the Mariners, build some lineups.
Cal Raleigh is definitely hitting a bomb. Just get that out of the way.
Okay.
He's got a 432 ISO and a 435 WOBA and 83 plate appearances versus righties over the last 30 days. Just mark Cal Raleigh down for a bomb right now. Teoscar hit 2 yesterday, so definitely like him a ton here. And also like Luis Castillo in the spot against the Royals. I think Castillo is going to be the mega chalk on FanDuel, though. I'm seeing like 30%, which is crazy because it's a 13-game slate. So I probably would not play Castillo at that ownership on such a massive slate. So I will say that. Over there, just looking at pricing real quick because I haven't played there in a while. I mean, Kikuchi at 9.4 is pretty much a stone lock for me on FanDuel. I like that price a lot. He's a little more expensive over there, but I think he goes 6 here, gets a quality start, and gets 7, 8, 9 strikeouts, something like that. So, yeah, it would be Kikuchi for me. Let me look at what the Seattle bat prices are real quick.
Oh, again, I mean, if you're building them, you can go down low. Canzone, Marlowe, Rojas at the bottom, and then try and get the other bats in there.
Raleigh on FanDuel is an awesome play because nobody ever plays the catcher, and he's 3,100. Definitely like Raleigh there. Everybody's pretty cheap here. I mean, Julio's 4,500. But outside of him, everybody else is under 3,100. So you can pretty much get whoever you want. Teoscar's only 2,700 on FanDuel. So, I definitely like Seattle a lot.
Make sure you get Rojas in there too. Now his price is, I think it's gone from about 2,700 to 3,500, but that's for good reason. That guy has absolutely been mashing the baseball. So
Gary, how do you not play Kikuchi today?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know how you don't play Kikuchi or Blackburn, to be honest. I mean, I think the spot for Blackburn is the best on the slate. I mean, it's not even close.
I'm going to have some of it. So I'm looking at FanDuel now, and I think it's all about Kikuchi. There's just no way I wouldn't roster him in the single pitcher spot. I'm not looking at any of the pricing, but I will say that I see that the Cincinnati-Arizona game is on that slate. And I don't have it up in front of me, but I want to say that these guys threw like 16 pitchers yesterday combined, something like that. I know they went to extras, and I think didn't the Reds walk it off on a balk or something?
I think so.
Yeah, there was a balk late in that game. They ended up winning 8-7, but the Reds threw like 8 pitchers, and the Diamondbacks threw like 7 or 8 of their own pitchers. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see some runs in that game. Again, I'm not playing over on FanDuel, but I see that game on the slate. It's going to be all about Seattle just because they're so extremely hot, but it would be Kikuchi and then maybe get a little exposure to that Reds Diamondbacks game.
Yeah, McLean's been killing the baseball for the Reds too. If you're into hot hitters or anything like that, he's definitely been there. Okay, boys, let's do a little plays of the day. And then we'll get out of here. You can go enjoy your Sundays. Gary, who's the Don call or play of the day?
So y'all know who my pitcher play of the day is. It's definitely Kikuchi. I will take Kikuchi there over Blackburn as my play of the day. And my bat, I think I got to go to Philly here. I'm doing this on the fly here, but I'm going to go Edmundo Sosa.
Oh, Sosa.
He's going to hit a bomb today for us. He's going to continue just absolutely mashing lefties.
Okay. What about you, Stevers? Who's your play of the day?
Play of the day, there is 100% no doubt in my mind that Brandon Belt hits a home run today.
Okay. I'll stay there. I think Springer goes absolutely nuts. George Springer, stolen base, possibly a home run. You can throw Varsho in there. You can throw Belt in there. But Noah Syndergaard is absolute toast. Mangone actually has a bet in on the bet side. Speaking of that, NFL 20% off the DFS side or the bet side and the bet side too. So both sides, you want to combine them together. That would be great. NFL 20, hit the like button on the way out. Again, good to see you, Gary. Good to see you, Stevers. I'm Holden. Keep running pure.